But here are the three things that you need to know this morning. And the first of the things, let me pose it as a riddle. When is a passive stake of 9.2% not a passive stake? When the person who took the stake also gets a seat on the board. And that is Elon Musk and Twitter this morning. That is the story and the next development in that news that we learned about yesterday, that Musk had taken that 9.2% stake in Twitter. Indeed, he's got a seat on the board. The CEO of Twitter announcing it in a tweet this morning, Parag Agrawal, saying, "I'm excited to share that we're appointing Elon Musk to our board. Through conversations with Elon in recent weeks, it became clear to us that he would bring great value to our board. He is both a passionate believer and an intense critic of the service, which is exactly what we need on Twitter. And in the boardroom, we make us stronger in the long-term. Welcome, Elon." And Elon responded and said he was looking forward to joining them to make significant improvements on Twitter in the coming months. Now, what are those improvements going to be? That is really the crux of the issue, Brian Sazi. Of course, he provocatively posted a poll yesterday, Elon did, asking if Twitter should have an edit button. And then Agrawal responded to him sort of jokingly echoing a tweet of Elon's in recent weeks. The shares are up 7% this morning. Is this a free speech battle at Twitter? Is this really improvement of product and monetization? What does this mean? I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, I think you and I disagree a little bit here on Elon Musk's involvement here. I think it's great. Here's a guy that has built an electric vehicle car company from scratch and is also launching rockets out into the world now with with a large stake in Twitter, and he can increase it a little bit more as long as he doesn't go over that 14.9% stake, put his butt on the board and try to drive some of the changes he's been tweeting at all of us for the past few years. If anybody is going to drive fundamental change at Twitter, it is not the company's CEO, which is he's been at the company for some time. It is an outsider like Elon Musk. So let's see what he can do here.
So I would make 2 points on this front. First of all, I think that we collectively make these sorts of assumptions that if someone is good, brilliant, even at one thing, that they're good at everything. And yes, don't bet against Elon. I totally get that. Yes, he has built great accomplishments, both at Tesla and at SpaceX, to your point. Does that mean he's automatically going to be the guy to make Twitter outperform? I don't think we can assume that, right? I don't think we know that. And so that's thing one. Thing two, if the change that he's going to make is to, as he has hinted in recent tweets, increase free speech on Twitter, then I don't know that that is a good thing either. Does that mean you take off all the guardrails on Twitter? You let anyone tweet anything? I don't think that's a good thing, given the abuse that makes its way onto the platform, even with the guardrails. So I don't know that that is the way to rescue Twitter, if indeed that is the direction he's going to go. I don't know that we know that's the direction he's going to go. But he keeps talking about free speech on Twitter. So,
hey, Julie, these guys needed a kick in the rear end. Bottom line, Twitter stock down about 21% despite Musk's involvement. It was down even more than that in the past year. They needed to be kicked in the rear end, and they have. So any changes that they have likely been sitting on for the past year or two, why not an edit button? I hear you, Elon.
Okay,
let's bring an edit button to Twitter.
Here's a question, Brian Sazi.
Go.
Brian Cohen came to GameStop. You could argue he
and now they have an NFT
the
marketplace.
They don't have it yet. They haven't actually launched it yet.
At least they have a website. I can't put.
In that situation, You're very critical of GameStop, which you say has not.
Because GameStop's garbage. That is a terrible, absolutely awful business model. Twitter is a very much a viable business, and that's why Elon's putting his money here.
My point is, we don't know yet what this means. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.